Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Carissa. If you are new here, welcome. We already love you and we'd love for you to stick around by subscribing. And don't forget to like this video and let us know where you're from. We'd love to get to know our YouTube friends more. And if you have Instagram, go ahead and follow us on Instagram at CarissaBarZ. Brian's also on Instagram, but he's not as active, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about him. This video is not going to be all rainbows and butterflies and happiness. It's going to be hard, and I hope I can make it through without crying. It's been 2 weeks since we found out that our baby didn't have a heartbeat, and we shared our miracle pregnancy with you guys on the last video, so if you missed it, go ahead and watch it. It's so happy, but also so sad at the same time. But I feel like ultimately it's a huge, I don't know, it fills me with so much hope, and I hope that it fills you with hope too. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started into our pregnancy and our miscarriage. So on December 10th, Brian and I had our first ultrasound, and we had a heartbeat. We had a heartbeat. The baby's heartbeat was a little bit lower than they would have liked, but they weren't concerned, they weren't worried. My HCG was good, my progesterone was good, it was going up. I have it right here so I can tell you what it was. So my first HCG test was on December 1st, and that was 2252. So they were so happy. My next test was 2 days later, almost exactly 48 hours later, and it was 3748. Now my progesterone was only tested on December 1st that first time, and it was 15.2. So they were all in good ranges. Now the second blood test for my HCG, it made me nervous. It made me feel like it was going to be our miscarriage all over again. With our first miscarriage, if you watch some of our other videos, the numbers weren't exactly doubling like they should be, and it made my fertility clinic really nervous, and that made me nervous. And so going through that once before, the numbers not doubling like they should, made me nervous. I was actually nervous the entire pregnancy, because once you've gone through a miscarriage, every cramp, every time you spot, every time you go to the bathroom, you look for blood. Every single time, every cramp, you're ready for it to, that other shoe to drop. You're ready for, it's like you're waiting for the worst. Unfortunately, you don't want the worst to happen. Why would you want the worst to happen? But you've been through that heartbreak before. It's like you're just expecting it to happen again, or you're protecting yourself in case it does happen. It's really hard to explain unless you've been through a miscarriage and then you've been pregnant after. It was a hard pregnancy. I was so grateful for the pregnancy. Brian and I were both so grateful, but we were both so nervous. It was hard. It was really hard, but my numbers looked good. The clinic thought that, you know, potentially, like, because everything looks good, it's gonna just keep rising and it's gonna get stronger and we're gonna be good. So a week later, we went and had our second ultrasound done. And even though Brian and I were totally nervous, totally scared, totally freaked out, because every little cramp, I had spotting, not at this point, I had spotting and cramping and all the things, and freaked us out. Honestly, we went in totally confident. We thought we were gonna see another heartbeat. We thought our heartbeat was gonna be strong and our baby was gonna be strong and we were gonna get the best news, and man, it sucks that we didn't. It really sucks. It can go either way. You look on Google and it's like everybody that responds to these forums are like, oh yeah, mine was at 80 or 79 or whatever. And then the next week I went in and it was 155, and you're like, oh, that's gonna be me too. And then it's not. And it seems like that's how our life works. So I don't know. Anyway, we went in on December 19th for our second ultrasound, and our baby no longer had a heartbeat. Oh my gosh, you guys, just thinking about it makes me sick. Just thinking about it makes me sick. Yeah, Brian and I drove separately to the ultrasound appointment. He was just gonna go back to work after and celebrate later. We were gonna celebrate with a treat because that's what I wanted to do. So before we got started, the sonographer told us that she's gonna look and just make sure everything was, you know, see what's going on in there, and then she's gonna start talking to us. But it was really quiet. other than the click, click, click. It was really quiet. And Brian's to the left of me in a chair, and I'm on the bed, and the sonographer is over here. And I can't see the TV, it's totally facing her. Or I can't see the ultrasound screen. It's not up on the TV up in front of us. He's trying to look over at the screen, and he just leans over like this and puts his head down. He just puts his head down. I don't know if that was when he saw her trying to get the heart rate, and he didn't really know what was going on, but I'm pretty sure he didn't have a great feeling either. It felt like forever. We don't have footage because we didn't record anything, because we felt like we were going to get a heartbeat and that it was just going to be the exact same footage as what we had before. And so what was the stupid. Anyway, Brian leaned over and put his head down. I put my hand on his back, put my arm on his back to hold him, and I put my arm over my head like this, and I just started sobbing. All I heard was click, click, click. And I just started sobbing hard. And the sonographer put her hand on my thigh. She said, "I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat today." There's no heartbeat today. And I just broke down. Broke down. I have not cried that much in a very, very long time. That was on December 19th. Still makes me sick, like I said, to think about. Still makes me sad. The sonographer left the room, and Brian and I, man, we just held each other for a long time, and we just cried for a long time. And we were angry. Right away we were angry. Like, it felt like a cruel game. You know what I mean? Like, we get this miracle pregnancy and then it's just taken away. We felt like that was so cruel. Like, we were so angry. And I think I was angry. The first thing I said is I should have been on progesterone. I should have been on progesterone. I had my blood tested again after the same day as our first ultrasound. So it was, I don't know, a week after our second blood test. And my progesterone had gone down. It had gone down to 11.3. So within a week, it had gone down that much. But I didn't find out until the night before our second ultrasound. But because it was still within normal range, my doctor's office wasn't nervous. But had I known that my blood test had lowered that much, I'm pretty sure I would have started progesterone suppositories. I had it. I should have done it in the beginning. I should have done it in the beginning. I should have started on baby aspirin in the beginning. I felt like I should have, but I didn't want to ruin anything. It's like that shoulda, woulda, coulda thing, you know? And Brian, my poor husband, was just so sad. Like, watching a man be so shattered and so sad and cry. Watching a man fight so hard for a child that he wants so badly. My sweet husband. I think that hurts me almost. I don't know, it hurts, it all hurts, it all hurts. I don't want to say one thing hurts more than the other. Anyway, so we went out to the car and we just sat there and we just talked and cried. We both cried. And seeing my husband cry and him saying, you know, like, I just want to fix this and I can't fix it, as he's crying. He just wants to take care of his wife and his child, and he can't fix his child. His child is already gone. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm grateful for my husband. So I hope he watches this. And I hope he knows how much I love him. Rory, stop. So we just sat there and we were mad. But we also recognized the good that came out of it. As just as far as even getting that far. Getting that far to get pregnant on our own and not to need fertility treatment, which is a big deal. I have never had hope we would get pregnant on our own until now. This pregnancy gave me hope that I never had. So the next day I went and chatted with my OBGYN. She was off the day of our second ultrasound, unfortunately, so I had to go back the next day and chat with her about what to do going forward. And because our first miscarriage was so traumatic, we went through it naturally. My body went through labor. I had contractions. I was in so much pain. I was throwing up. It was traumatic. It was miserable. It was brutal, physically, emotionally, mentally, just all of it. And I didn't want to go through it again. That freaked me out to go through that again. I'd finally gotten to a good place. The last thing I wanted was to be so dang broken again. Man, it knocked me down for a long time. And I finally got to a place where I was okay. Finally got to a place where I was okay. Just to be freaking knocked down again, I didn't know if I could do it. It's crazy what you can actually get through. We decided to do a D&C the next day, so December 21st, and also I had a bunch of blood work done, like blood work that I've never had done in the last 4 years, even going through IVF and everything else, because it relates to recurrent pregnancy loss. So that's also a silver lining. December 21st, we had our D&C. I went to the hospital bright and early at 6 a.m. and man, as we were walking into the hospital, Brian grabbed my hand and just ready to face this trial together, you know, ready to face another trial together, just hand in hand, like always. And, you know, we had to say goodbye to our baby. We were going to walk in pregnant and leave not pregnant. It was hard. The D&C was hard. Every nurse I talked to, the doctors, the anesthesiologist and the anesthesia team, they all knew why I was there. And with every person that talked to me, I kept crying. I would cry harder with each person that talked to me. You know, they'd come in and ask, you know, what are you here for? And you'd have to say, and then they try to make you feel better by saying, oh, well, this is so common. And I'm like, forget that. I don't care if this is freaking common. This is my baby. This is my child. This is my child that I fought so hard for. I don't want to hear how common this is. I don't want to hear that I'm only this far along. I don't want to hear that somebody was so much farther along than me, so they deserve to hurt more than me. How dare people say stuff like that? That is not okay to say to somebody that is losing a child. That is someone's child. A loss is a loss, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off, but it's just the truth. I don't know how many people I've already talked to that have made me feel like my loss doesn't matter because it was early when their loss was twice as long as mine. You know what? Forget that. Forget that. It's my child who I just lost. So forget that. And I really think that the nurses were just trying to make me feel better, but it didn't. And I spoke up because that's what I do, clearly. Through tears. And, yeah. Anyway, the last thing, before they wheeled me back, Brian, he gave me a kiss and told me he loved me. And I was just, the waterworks get like now, but worse, right? Like, so bad. Like, the tears were so bad. It was like non-stop tears.
the last thing I remember after being wheeled into the OR was, you know, how they put that mask over your face. I was sitting in the OR and I just looked around at the people in there as they're getting me, you know, ready. And they put the mask on my face. And I'm like dizzy because of the meds, because of the anesthesia. And I just remember crying and feeling tears going down my face. And then I remember waking up in recovery, just with tears. I don't know if they stopped. I don't know. I woke up, I fell asleep in tears, and I woke up in tears. Oh man, I did not plan on this because I've been doing okay. I've been doing okay. Well, considering, I don't know what else to say about it. I showed up to the hospital pregnant and I left not pregnant.
Our D&C wasn't easy. It was hard. It was painful. As far as pain goes, I'd say some ibuprofen and a heating pad has really helped. The bleeding lasted over a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. I have felt really, really tired since our miscarriage, since our D&C. If I were to have a choice on having a miscarriage naturally or going through a D&C again, I would definitely go through a D&C. But I hope and I pray that never happens to us again. We are doing okay. I haven't cried a ton, not like our last miscarriage. Our last miscarriage, it took me down, and I don't know if it's because I wasn't on fertility medication this time around, or if it's just I'd never been through a miscarriage before, so I never thought it would happen to me, or I was completely 100% invested in that pregnancy. And this one, I was much more protective of myself. And like I said, we would say, you know, if this works out, if this baby comes to us, like if we're able to carry it full term, if. I don't know why there's a difference right now. I definitely think I need to go to therapy, and I think that's okay. I think I need to still talk about it, which is why we're going to continue to share about it on YouTube. And Instagram. So if you have any questions, please leave them below or send them my way on Instagram. But we're doing okay. We're definitely looking at the silver lining, so that's helping a lot. I'm feeling better. I'm recovering well from the D&C, and we are really, really hopeful that we're going to be able to get pregnant again. So that is a huge, huge blessing to be able to feel that hope that I've never felt before. I've never felt that we could get pregnant on our own before, and I have that now. And Brian has that. Well, Brian's always had it, let's be real. I always thought it was never going to happen for us, and it did, and I believe it will again. In the next 3 months, we're going to try really, really hard to make that happen. We're going to try really, really hard for our double rainbow baby. And we can't wait to share that with you guys. We hope you guys stick around. We hope you want to follow along and be part of this journey. Life's not easy, but I think it's good to know that other people are going through hard stuff and to see them come out on top. I think it's a beautiful thing to see, and I hope that we can come out on top. And I am just grateful to be able to share that with you. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, share it with your friends if you want, share it with friends that may need some encouragement or hope. We love you, and we will talk to you soon. Oh, by the way, here's Rory. Wake up, buddy. Hey, do you want to go see your friends outside? Do you see friends outside? Okay. Okay. Toodles. Oh, go get him. Crazy dog.